Hi, I'm Sug.
I'm Dan.
This is the Demystified Zone, an unauthorized North Korean podcast. Dan, good to see you.
Great to see you, Sug.
We're going to jump right into it today.
Awesome.
We got a lot to talk about.
A lot.
As always, I'm going to the Crossing Borders blog. For those of you who follow us, check these articles about North Korea out if you want to stay on top of what's going on. There's obviously a lot of other great sources out there. But today we're going to be talking about this headline. Famous North Korean actors beg for food in markets.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is an eye-opener when you just hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read some of these kind of points that I have here. So, actors from the Korean Art Film Studio, the largest film studio in North Korea, were seen using their fame to beg for food at Pyeongchang's Okjon Market.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah.
That sounds like an oxymoron, using fame to beg for food.
Yeah. It's very sad. So
Yeah, enlighten us a little bit.
yeah,
Tell us what's going on here.
this is very deep waters, right? Because Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un's dad,
Yeah.
was a huge film buff, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He loved world cinema, especially South Korean cinema, and actually went so far as to kidnap a famous South Korean actress and director to star in his movies.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And for those of you who want to look this up, the movie is, well, there's a documentary about it.
Yeah. It was also on This American Life. There's a whole episode.
There's a This American Life episode, and there's a documentary. It was on at the 2016 Sundance Film Festival. It's called The Lovers and the Despot. It's directed by Robert Cannon and Ross Adam, who I think were British filmmakers at the time. But yes, it's about this story, and tell us about the story.
So, so Kim Jong-un loved this actress, and he really admired this one director, South Korean film director, and he kidnapped them because that's the only way he can get them to, do movies for him. By the
way, which is such a dictator move. Come on, Kim Jong-il, kidnapping people.
Eye roll. Ugh.
Yeah.
So he got them, and I think they made a couple films together. And he also, creepily enough, wanted them to start a romantic relationship too, personally. So he kept them in the same house and apartment, blah, blah. And anyway, so they were filming something else, another film for the regime. And they were somewhere in Eastern Europe, I think Prague, where they plotted their escape. And while they were filming, they got away. And the crazy thing is, they did end up romantically staying together. So they can truly say, Kim Jong-il set us up. What a crazy story. I think they're still alive too.
Oh my God.
So this is the degree to which film mattered. Kim Jong-il was the head of this department for the North Korean government. He thought it was a key propaganda type of element for the North Korean people to produce artful films that supported or propped up the regime.
Yeah.
So during that time, I'm sure in pay as well, they were treated a lot better.
Sure. Well, let me talk about this documentary because you brought it up. And if you all want to check it out, again, it's called The Lovers and the Despot. It's a documentary. Not great. Didn't get the greatest reviews, but it's an amazing story. I actually do prefer the This American Life
They did
article.
a really good job.
Yes, it's an essay actually. If you go to This American Life, such a good story.
Crazy.
Again, these people were kidnapped, and from the notes that I have here, it says that actually Kim Jong-il's intention was to develop a film industry because there was none, and he was partially. I'm sure, obviously, they wanted to weaponize it in terms of marketing or propaganda, but I think before that, it was 100% like, PBS, like
public access.
Yeah, public access, like programming, and it was all propaganda all day about, some crazy things that North Korea wanted their people to know.
Yeah.
So this was like his way. Again, such a dictator, Kim Jong. Like he was just sitting around and like, you know what, we need a Hollywood here. How do we make Hollywood? It's like, let's go kidnap some people, and make them make it for us.
I mean, this is how North Korea operates. When they need people to teach them Japanese, they kidnap people in Japan. I mean, this has been going on for a very long time in North Korea. It's crazy.
Okay, well, going back to the headline, so that's like the start of the Korean film industry as we know, and that was in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 80s, and now we're here in 2022. We're reading this article, I mean, we've already seen how like pop culture has grown, if I can say that word, grown in North Korea. I'm sure since 1980, the film industry has grown, but what do you know about that? Like, what is film and like, specifically that art form, film and like TV, that's not propaganda? What does that look like? Like, what kind of movies are they putting out here?
I haven't seen any of their recent movies. I've seen a lot of their news broadcasts, and it's if you watch the news broadcast, so there's so much here, but if you watch the news broadcast, right, just listen to them speak, for example, because like as Korean Americans growing up in America in Korean churches, remember when our parents used to pray, they shifted to another gear in their voice, right? They would say, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
That's the tone and voice that the regime speaks. So when the news is their propaganda, it's basically the voice of the nation, right? So when they speak in the news, like watch South Korean news, it's very conversational now, right? They've shifted from that. But if you watch North Korean news, it's a very old style of speaking.
It's like those old school medieval guys that would announce someone's entry.
Yeah, and by the way,
now arriving.
Yeah.
Our dear leader, Dan Chung. But they speak like that all the time. So that I say that because that is where North Korean propaganda communications are still at. It's still kind of stuck in the 50s. So Kim Jong-il, we were talking about, we talk about like how North Korea needs to modernize and build a bridge to culturally to the rest of the world. I think Kim Jong-il was trying to do that, at least with the film industry, to modernize it. And so today there's a reason why North Koreans are flocking to South Korean entertainment. Entertainment just from the outside world is because it's no good in North Korea. It's not entertaining. Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, we already saw the headlines about the Squid Games being cracked down on and it being contraband in North Korea and people getting imprisoned for having Squid Games. So clearly there's a desire for at least South Korean film and TV, which is amazing, by the way, even in America, or especially in America.
It's crazy.
But that's so crazy. So you said you haven't really seen anything outside. I gotta wonder, like, what are they producing here? Like,
it's all propaganda stuff. It's all like,
So, but is it like I mean, it sounds like it was propaganda stuff before then too. So
Sure.
maybe he's gone from like news radio or news style to, I don't know, You've Got Mail, but from North Korea. Is that what's happening? Like, is he just ripping off the classics right now? Casablanca, and it's like, but
saying,
North Korea.
I wrote this.
Yeah.
I wrote this great film called Casablanca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uri cheap. Uri hayang cheap.
Wow. By the way, we're not speaking real Korean.
Yeah. That was
just tried. But
that was like a
terrible.
2-year-old talking.
When I was speaking in that
2-year-olds
tone.
even talk. Who knows? I'm just so curious. I wish if we can get our hands on some kind of North Korean film, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of footage from North Korean TV out on YouTube from the famine times. There's a very famous video from the 90s. It's like a PSA almost, where it's their campaign called "Let's Eat 2 Meals a Day."
Oh my gosh.
At the beginning of the famine, which is so chilling and scary.
Yeah.
But it's like this idyllic, woman, like she's dressed in a traditional hanbok, the Korean traditional garb, and she's singing and she's gathering things from the garden, and it's a very happy scene, but they're basically saying, hey guys, don't eat so much because we might all starve. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
All right, Mike has pulled up something here. The Story of a Blooming Flower.
Yeah.
It's a North Korean movie. It's on YouTube. You guys can check that out. What year is this, Mike? Does it say?
12. Yeah.
Well, it was uploaded.
Yeah, uploaded to that. But does it have any like notes on when it was actually produced?
In 92.
1992. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're watching this thing. You guys can check it out yourselves. Okay, 1992, but it looks like Wizard of Oz circa, Okay, no, maybe. I don't know. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It looks like 90s.
Yeah.
Yes, it's about 90s style. This is interesting. So you check that out. Okay, so they have this film world out there. How long is that movie, Mike?
1.5 hours.
1.5. Okay, so these are feature films here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to check this out. And I should have watched this before I came here, but I don't know if I can sit through this for an hour and a half I can barely sit through an hour and a half of bad filmmaking in America, let alone in North Korea. Okay, but all right, the films are out there. The industry is struggling, it sounds like. I mean,
looks like it.
When I was reading this article, so that if Mike, you can pull that article back up. It was saying there's this note here about how film stars are ranked from 1 to 6, and they're assigned roles, and apparently they're still trying to they have this weird tension because obviously they're starving to death, but they still have to save face and keep up with appearances.
Yeah,
but they're starving, and that's the only way they can get food is to leverage their fame to get these food from these markets, which is
okay.
Again, yeah.
So that's another thing, right? So the North Korean regime, they were paying, a communist regime pays everyone, right? Everyone gets their salary from the regime, but that is sort of broken down these days, right? So real government jobs, anything in the army or any of those types of jobs, though they are prestigious and offer you political safety in some ways, they do not offer very much in the way of money. So during the famine, what happened was the public distribution system, or PDS, broke down, and so the country had to find another way to distribute goods and services, right? And that's when these markets, these 장마당s, started popping up. And the small markets, it's like a normal farmer's market that you would see here. Those were outlawed before the famine.
Okay.
Right? Farmers markets were literally considered capitalist because they are, right? So
Yes, I guess they are.
so the men would go work for the government and bring home little pay. And now the women in North Korea are the bread makers. So if you are an actor or actress in North Korea, that is a government job still.
Okay, yeah.
And so
Because you're assigned that role.
you're
too.
assigned that role too.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see that these people are not being paid as much.
And well, first of all, like in theory, the system they have set up for the acting community, it actually sounds kind of nice to me. You know, like I'm in the film industry right now, and like, they might have something on IMDb here because rather than it's who you know system, which is what we live and operate in. It's kind of based on meritocracy, like your ability to act actually and rank, I guess. But obviously, it's a communist or a dictatorship rather.
Yeah.
So there is definitely who you know still in there somewhere.
It's always about
But
that.
how great would that be? You never have to audition. You just get assigned your role based on stereotypes and, and how you look. And hopefully how you can act.
The only problem with that is the government controls everything that's being put out. That's the only drawback of that situation.
But the positives, we're not watching any more Kevin Costner up in here. All right? We ain't watching those VIPs from the Squid Games. Those guys aren't getting in there. No bad actors are getting in there.
That's true. That's true.
That's the positive. There's always a silver lining to everything. All those actors are probably amazing. They have to be.
I don't know.
They have to be the best of the
you
best.
You have to kind of know people too in North Korea.
Yeah, but you can't fake acting. They're trying to put out a quality product.
I don't know about that.
Come on.
They're trying to put out a product that is, that is loyal to the top guy.
Yeah, but the top guy went out of his way to kidnap the top actors in South Korea.
Yeah. That guy is gone now.
That's true, but his son is there,
Yeah.
and his son, I don't know what his son appreciates.
See,
but
that's the thing. That is exactly another point of this article is that Kim Jong-il, that regime really focused on the arts and music and movies. But now, since Kim Jong-un is taken over, it seems like singing is more important, right? Because
yes.
you have a Korean K-pop band type of thing.
Yes.
And then you also have, his wife was a former singer.
Yeah.
So, or is a singer.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about it. I have her here in my notes here. KJU's wife, Lee E. Solju, was a singer.
Yeah.
Growing up, or she was trained as a singer, I guess,
Yes.
in their school system. And it says, like, by the way, this woman, Mike, pull her up. Just Google her. This woman looks like she just graduated from flight attendant school. Like,
She's very pretty.
in every way, like 1950s flight attendant school.
Mm-hmm.
That's I guess that's what they want the first lady to look like, a flight attendant. I guess flight attendants in Asia
Yeah.
are very attractive. So
Yeah.
I get why they might go that route.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she was trained as a musician or singer, it says.
Yeah, I mean, there's YouTube footage of her just being in the background as like an entertainer before they got married.
And I think it says here that was actually like looked down upon. Like I think the North Korean government was trying to like erase that from her past at first because
really?
there was interest in that, and I guess they didn't like that look that she was like a musician.
Yeah, like a commoner.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
Probably has
Is
to
that
do
what
with
the? Is that the?
She probably didn't come from an elite family, and that's very important in North Korea as well. Your bloodline and things like that.
Okay, until the supreme leader says, "Hey, I like this flight attendant. Let's get her in here." /singer.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, she's very young too. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely looks a lot younger than him. All right. So is she still a singer? Were you saying she is still singing?
I believe not. She is not. She has shifted her role from singer to to
Yeah. Okay. She's
they-
like a diplomat or some kind of government party leader now.
Yeah.
It says here.
But
Okay.
I mean, she's largely in the background right now.
Got it. So yeah, this is really interesting. Like you said, it's like there's this like stock market in the arts scene in North
Yeah.
Korea, and when the great leader back then, when it was Kim Jong-il,
Mm-hmm.
says he likes, films, boom, if you're an actor, you're high
Yeah.
society now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his son, KJU, not so much into film, that guy. He doesn't
Music,
like sitting
yeah.
around. But he likes the music. He likes the performances. So, bam, these bands,
Yeah.
they're all on the top of his list now.
Yeah.
Now the actors are starving.
Now the actors are starving.
Oh my gosh.
It's yeah, it must be a remarkable turn of events, and it's sad that your job depends on the flavors and tastes of the guy at the top. It's basically one person, and if your guy dies out, then your job, your livelihood is on the line. That's really sad.
I mean, I can't imagine what it's like for the comedians in that country. I don't think they've ever been on top. Does anyone, I guess at one point,
maybe the next guy will be into comedy.
his sister, she looks like she laughs a lot. Look at her face. She's
He
someone who
smirks
laughs.
a lot. Yeah. Yeah,
But,
all their comedy is based on making fun of America.
It's true. That one guy is gonna land that really good Biden joke, and then he's gonna be at the top of the food chain.
What is up with Biden? Ta-dum.
Who was that? Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah.
North Korean Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that is really bizarre and unfortunate. Like there's this like basically market system for the arts.
Mhm.
Have you seen anything else like do you ever see like fine art or like artists, painters, sculptors? Or does that happen as well? Do you see them kind of rise in popularity during certain times and not, or have you seen that?
I've seen the art of some defectors. So if you're good at art, let's say at painting, right? Then you're taken by the regime and trained to do this very specific type of like regime
Sure, yeah.
heroic art, right? I mean, like anyone has seen this type of art.
But just real quick, like they're identified as talented, though. I'm assuming, like as young children, like
as
they
young
can draw
children.
something.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there's there's an artist called, he goes by the name Sun Mu. He
Okay.
lives in South Korea. Incredible artist. Where he takes that style and flips it, and so I think it's MU. Yeah.
Okay.
He flips it and he like makes fun of the North Korean regime, and he makes.
Oh, so he's a defector.
He's a defector in
Okay.
South Korea, so he still uses that style because that's what he was trained in, I'm sure.
Huh.
And there's one. I love there's a picture of Kim Jong-il in like a pink Adidas tracksuit.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing photo, or it's an amazing piece of art.
I mean, and just so you know, we're looking at different Google images of North Korean art that
Sunmu. See, it's
Mike's pulling
yeah.
up for us. Yeah, I mean, clearly, like you're gonna any nation with that many people, you're gonna have artistic and talented
yeah.
people. But what's again so interesting is like what the culture and the system and the government they grow up in, and what their art gets formed into because of those restrictions, or
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's so interesting. Like, and it's definitely hard times, like we said, for someone like a comedian, especially like
I don't think
there's
they
not
have
much
comedians.
there's not much to laugh about over there,
Yeah.
except for America and the Western world
In the Western world.
and our big noses. Our
Well,
pale
I mean, if you
skin.
look at North Korean art and Americans depicted in, right there.
mhm.
I mean, they're mean. They're often like killing babies
Oh
or
my gosh.
torturing people.
Yeah, yeah. We've got like a picture of American or South Korean soldier with like
I
a
think it's
hatchet.
American,
American, yeah, hatcheting some,
North Korean
tied up
woman.
North Korean woman, and
Look at that. I mean, it's brutal, right? They're all laughing. They look very evil.
you know what's so interesting is like they actually don't even like caricaturize us in their, like in American drawings, like usually, or even like European, when they would like be super racist or
Yeah.
want to portray someone, like they would like caricaturize, like make their features look over, like these are actually just very accurate, like portraits of soldiers, GIs. It
Yeah.
looks like, which is even more kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
And I can
it's
see why
terrifying.
that's convincing though too. Maybe it's harder to believe a caricature, and when you see a real portrait of someone, like okay, yeah, Americans, they're like that.
Yeah, I mean, like there is a conversation these days in America about freedom of speech, what can be said and what can't be said, and we're people are afraid that we're going to turn into like a communist type of nation because of the sensitivities of certain populations of people.
Yeah,
But if you look at the art of North Korea, we're so far away from that. I'm not saying that there's dangers or whatnot. I'm just saying we're nowhere close to that.
Sure.
Right? Where art is literally a tool of the regime to advance themselves and to keep themselves in power. It's not like that at all.
yeah, and that's definitely like the extreme side of the spectrum, right? Of like this is as far as any nation can go in manipulating and weaponizing even the arts, right, for their own purposes.
I mean,
and it is extreme.
It is extreme, and that's what Kim Jong-il did. He had his certain flavor of art that he wanted to put forward, but it was all in support of him, his mythology of himself,
Yeah.
etc. Right, and that's the danger, right? When when art itself becomes weaponized,
Yeah.
speech itself
Yeah,
becomes weaponized. This is what happens in a country, and it's frightening.
yeah. Well, on that note, I'd like to lighten it up a little bit, and we always try to look at hopefully the silver linings or the potential speculative positive sides of North Korea. We can only speculate here. That's what we do best. We're experts at it. We're going to go into speculation nation right now. Okay, and
Speculation Nation.
insert that in post, Mike. And I go back to this. This is my theory. And I think I have a good backing for this. We've talked. You've mentioned before that only the best, like we said, they're even handpicking these little kid artists that they recognize are like gifted or geniuses at these. I have to believe in my heart that they're pulling out all the De Niros. They're pulling out all the Francis McDormands and Sidney Poitiers from this this lot of actors, and to act in North Korea. Damn, like come on, like you got to be next level. If you're like, you have a lot of material to pull from, first of all, as an emotional person. All right. I just think these people, the North Korean actors, are probably the best. They could potentially be the best actors in the world, given if they had the right training. Now, I think that's true. I don't want you to respond to that. I think the real question is, which of our American actors could hang in North Korea? That is the true test of an actor. Who do you think their skill, they're gonna transcend to another level of acting and just as human, just being a resilient human being? I've got a few here.
Okay.
Daniel Day-Lewis, of course.
Oh yeah.
The Daniel Day.
Yeah.
The man, he just the method man, basically.
Yeah.
He'll become North Korean at some point. Like they won't be able to recognize him. He'll have morphed. He's some kind of like shapeshifter. Yeah, I think he really is. He's an alien or something, and just like turns into some things.
Oh yeah. I was thinking Ralph Macchio. He seems very like happy-go-lucky, like
no,
he could
come on,
go with the flow.
He does not have the acting chops. Come on, you gotta have the acting chops. The best, man. We're talking about best of the best. You're not the worst, the worst. That's akin to Kevin Costner right there.
Have you seen Karate Kid 1?
Okay.
I
And
know.
how he faked that injury so well and balanced on that one foot. He looked like he was in so much pain.
I mean, think about how he could depict like a injured North Korean person.
No, he's
in
terrible.
battle.
No, I'm gonna
against the
give him a big
Yankees.
thumbs down. Okay, Sidney Poitier. I already said it. He's
Yeah.
already climbed the mountain of adversity here, so
Yeah.
he would do it again. Rest his soul. You know, he's passed, but he would definitely have made it over there for sure. Even as a black man, he would have made it over there. That's how amazing he is. And
He's really something else.
okay, here's one.
Okay.
Nick Cage. Nick Cage is the enigma of all actors. Is he good? Is he bad? No one knows. Nobody knows.
I think Nick Cage would the crazy eyes, you know?
He's just exactly. He's got the
You know the gear that I was talking about? I bet he would be incredible at that.
oh. He'd be like that all day, you know? Like oh man, Nick Cage. I love him and I hate him.
Oh.
And then I mean, honestly, I think any woman in Hollywood that's made it could make it over there, given the vast obstacles and the paths that they must. I mean, they have to climb through. You know, but to name a few, I love Frances McDormand, so I would think she would definitely make it. Maybe Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
You know,
She is definitely also
she's a pretty powerful woman.
Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, I mean, Charlize Theron, to name another strong woman. Viola Davis. Many of these, Michaela Coel, if I'm going to be a little more young and hip, like I think she
Who is
definitely,
that?
she does I May Destroy You or Chewing Gum. Yeah, look it up. You look it up later.
All right,
That's fine. Anyone from Game of Thrones? Peter Dinklage? Kit Harington?
Oh, I think Peter
Jason
Dinklage.
Momoa? I don't know about Jason. He's too pretty boy, maybe. He's all muscle.
He would play Kim
love you,
Jong-un in all of the movies. Kim Jong-un would use...
He would come out
yeah.
as a 6'6",
Yeah.
super ripped, brown, beautiful, long-haired man.
Definitely.
I love you, Jason Momoa. I'm just kidding. You can make it in North Korea. Hit up our podcast, please. Yeah. Okay. Dennis Rodman. He's a terrible actor. I'm just saying. We talked
Wait,
about him.
Has he acted?
Yeah, he was in like Van Damme movies. Remember,
Yeah,
like
that's
Double Team,
Yeah, that's
and he was in something else. I can't remember, but Double Team is the one I remember the most.
See,
And he's terrible.
he would make it because of his relationship.
Oh, for
The
sure.
cronyism,
Buddies.
you know? But
Yeah.
best
They would do
buds.
Double Team with him. Van Damme would have gotten fired. It would have been Double Team 2 with KJU and Dennis Rodman. Oh, that's a good script. I might write that actually. Anyway, we speculate.
Yeah.
One day when you and I are famous enough,
Yeah.
we will find out the truth. One of us will go, and we'll go for I don't even know if they're gonna have auditions, but we're gonna find out.
You go first.
I'll see you in YouTube.
Oh boy.
The mission of Crossing Borders is to show the compassion of Christ to North Korean refugees and their children. If you want to give, get involved, or just learn more, check out our website at crossingbordersnk.org.